Today I'm going to add one legend to every single NHL team to see how different the league would be. Legends. Pretty much every team has them. Well, maybe besides Seattle, Vegas, Minnesota, Florida. You get the point. Legends are what shaped the franchise's history, and today I'm going to be bringing them back to the current teams to see how differently the league would shape up. The Anaheim Ducks have picked up Scott Niedermayer. Obviously, for the Arizona Coyotes, I had to go with Shane Doan. For the Boston Bruins, I decided to give them Ray Bourque. I mean, this team is already stacked without him, so adding him is just hitting another level. The Buffalo Sabres are going to get Dale Hawerchuk. Unfortunately, Dominic Hasek is not in the game. The Calgary Flames are obviously going to be picking up Jerome McGinley, an absolute legend. The Carolina Hurricanes are going to pick up their current coach, Rob Brind'Amour, and that does not at all look like him. He doesn't even have a face scan. For Chicago, I decided to go with Glenn Hall. With or without him, Chicago is still going to be bad regardless. Colorado is going to be adding their current GM, Joe Sakic. Great, I'm going to have to witness Colorado winning 5 straight championships. For Columbus, you already know I had to add Rick Nash. This dude is pretty much the only legend of the Blue Jackets. Mike Modano will be joining the Dallas Stars, which I thought was pretty fitting considering Jason Robertson passed him in all-time points for a single season. For the Red Wings, I obviously had to add Gordie Howe. I mean, I thought about Nicholas Lidstrom, but you can't go wrong with Mr. Hockey. Obviously, for Edmonton, I had to give them Wayne Gretzky, the greatest player of all time, easily. Now, the Florida Panthers were a tough one. They basically had no legends that were in the game. I tried to look for Roberto Luongo, but I could not find him, so we're gonna go with Jay Bouwmeester. Yes, Jay Bouwmeester. Not really on the caliber of the other legends, but that's alright. The LA Kings are gonna pick up Luc Robitaille. The Minnesota Wild were another one who did not have anybody in the game. I tried to look for Mikko Koivu, but I could not find him, so I had to go with Nicholas Backstrom, who is currently in the AHL. Oh, Minnesota, man. NHL 23 did you dirty. For the Montreal Canadiens, I've added Patrick Waugh. What a shocker. For Nashville, I've added the Predators legend Peter Forsberg. Sadly, they don't have anybody else, but I thought it'd be pretty cool if 2 Forsbergs played on the same team. For the New Jersey Devils, you already know it had to be Martin Brodeur. Absolute legend. The New York Islanders are going to pick up Dennis Potvin. The New York Rangers are going to pick up Mark Messier. For the Ottawa Senators, I had to add Daniel Alfredson. The Philadelphia Flyers are going to pick up Big Eric Lindros. Absolute monster in his heyday. Too bad he got absolutely laid out by Scott Stevens. That was a huge hit. The Pittsburgh Penguins are obviously going to pick up Mario Lemieux. I thought about adding Jaromir Jagr, but I just could not put him over Lemieux. The San Jose Sharks are going to pick up Joe Thornton. Sadly, Patrick Marleau is not in the game, or if he is, I cannot find him. The St. Louis Blues are going to pick up Brett Hall. Does anybody remember him absolutely loaded during their parade? That dude full-sended their parade. I swear to God. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going to get even better, picking up Marty St. Louis, the current coach of the Montreal Canadiens. The Toronto Maple Leafs are going to pick up Matt Sundin. Now, for the Vancouver Canucks, I could not only add one of the Sedin sisters, so I have decided to add both of them. So the Canucks pretty much have an advantage over every other team. They got to add 2 legends because of the Sedin sisters. Twins. The Washington Capitals really didn't have any good options, so I decided to add Sergei Gonchar. And finally, last but not least, we have Teemu Selanne for the Winnipeg Jets, who had the greatest rookie season of all time, scoring 70 goals. That is insane. If you enjoy videos like this, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and turn notifications on so you don't miss a single upload. At the end of year 1, Edmonton would finish at the top of the Pacific, Colorado would finish first in the Central, the Boston Bruins would finish first in the Atlantic, and Washington would actually finish first in the Metro. Evgeny Malkin would have the most points in the entire league with 110. Meanwhile, Mario Lemieux would have the most goals at 51. Wow, nobody but him scored over 50 goals. Matthews had 49. And there's the GOAT, Nathan MacKinnon. Wayne Gretzky only had 43 goals and 95 points. Luc Robitaille had more points than Wayne Gretzky. Martin Brodeur would have 37 wins and 6 shutouts. Somehow Craig Anderson had the same amount of shutouts as Martin Brodeur. Dennis Potvin would put up 90 points. Sergei Gonchar had a great year too. Here is what the year 1 playoff matchups look like. And the New York Rangers would end up winning the Stanley Cup, beating the Calgary Flames in 5 games. Evgeny Malkin had a very big year. Dennis Potvin would obviously win the Norris. The Conn Smythe would go to Artemi Panarin. The Vezina to Sorokin. At the end of season number 2, the Edmonton Oilers are still first in the Pacific. The Dallas Stars are first in the Central. The Boston Bruins are still first in the Atlantic. And the New York Rangers have finished first in the Metro. Mario Lemieux would lead the entire NHL in points with 106, followed by Evgeny Malkin, Adam Fox, Wayne Gretzky, and Connor McDavid. Adam Fox had more points than Wayne Gretzky. The dynamic duo of Mario Lemieux and Evgeny Malkin are going off right now. And then we have the Gretzky and McJesus combo. Kucherov and Wayne Gretzky would tie for the most goals in the entire entire league, followed by Mario Lemieux, Brett Hall, and Brad Marchand. So Brett Hall had a very big year. Adam Fox would have over a 20-point lead on second place for defensemen in points. Dennis Potvin took a step back this year, and the rest of them did okay. Gonchar, Bork, Niedermeyer. Igor Shesterkin would have 48 wins. Here's what the year 2 playoff matchups look like. We have a real good series in the East with Boston and Montreal. We have the Oilers and the Kings just like we do in real life. And the Boston Bruins would end up winning the Stanley Cup, beating the Edmonton Oilers in 7 games. Evgeny Malkin is still showing out. A Hart Trophy and a Ted Lindsay Trophy. Obviously, Fox won the Norris. The Conn Smythe would go to David Pastrnak. The Vezina would go to Vasi. At the end of season number 3, the Oilers would still finish first in the Pacific. Colorado would yet again finish first in the Central. The Boston Bruins would yet again finish first in the Atlantic. And the Pittsburgh Penguins would finish first in the Metro. Mario Lemieux would yet again lead the entire NHL in points with 106, followed by Austin Matthews, Brett Hall, and Alexander Barkov. Brett Hall putting up points, man. Greatest of all time. Brett Hall would have the most goals in the entire NHL with 59, followed by Austin Matthews. And who the hell is this guy? I cannot even pronounce that first name. Burmistrov? He put up 50 goals. He put up 50 goals in his second season. Is he a real player, boys? Let me know in the comments. Gretzky would only have 44 goals and 93 points. Gordie Howe has been pretty quiet as well. Only 89 points is his career high. Ray Bourque and Scott Niedermeyer would have the most points by any defenseman with 78. Patrick Waugh would have 36 wins. Linus Ullmark would have 11 shutouts. These all-time goalies are not having great years, boys. Here's what the year 3 playoff matchups look like. We have the Battle of Alberta on the west side, and the Florida Panthers would end up winning the Stanley Cup, beating the St. Louis Blues in 6 games. Wayne Gretzky somehow would take home the Selke. Mario Lemieux would stay pretty dominant. Ray Bourque would take home the Norris. The Conn Smythe somehow would go to Lundell. I mean, I'm not even going to question it. Vasi with another Vezina. At the end of year number 4, Vancouver finishes first in the Pacific. The Colorado Avalanche continue to dominate the Central. The Florida Panthers finished first in the Atlantic with 52 wins. And the Pittsburgh Penguins continue to dominate the Metro. Colorado would finish first in the entire league with 63 wins. Wayne Gretzky finally decides to become Wayne Gretzky and lead the entire NHL in points with 129, followed by the GOAT Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, Gordie Howe, and Connor McDavid. Shout out Gordie Howe. Gretzky would also lead the entire NHL in goals with 61, followed by Brett Hall and Nathan MacKinnon. Shout out Brett Hall, man. 59 goals, he's putting them up there. Back-to-back 59-goal seasons. Cale Makar would have the most points out of any defenseman with 92, followed by Adam Fox and Chris Letang. I mean, Letang is a good player, but he's 38 years old. Glenn Hall would have 39 wins and 6 shutouts. Marty Brodeur would have 35 wins and 7 shutouts. And here's what the year 4 playoff matchups look like. And the New York Rangers win another Stanley Cup, beating the Colorado Avalanche in 6 games. Wayne Gretzky is Wayne Gretzky. Cale Makar would take home the Norris. The Conn Smythe would yet again go to Artemi Panarin. Shesterkin takes home the Vezina. At the end of year 5, the Edmonton Oilers finished first in the Pacific. The Colorado Avalanche continue to absolutely dominate the Central. The Boston Bruins finished first in the Central. And the Capitals would finish first in the Metro yet again. Wayne Gretzky would lead the entire NHL in points with 133, followed by Connor McDavid and Mario Lemieux. McDavid and Gretzky both put up over 130 points. Wayne Gretzky would have the most goals in the entire NHL with 66, followed by Brian Gulas? Who the hell is this guy? And then Mario Lemieux and Brett Hall. Adam Fox would have the most points out of any defenseman with 83, followed by Cale Makar and Miro Heiskanen. Marty Brodeur would have 38 wins and 2 shutouts. Patrick Waugh would have 36 wins and 4 shutouts. This is what the year 5 playoff matchups look like. The New York Rangers win another Stanley Cup. They would beat the Colorado Avalanche in 6 games. We have our first back-to-back champions. Again, Wayne Gretzky is Wayne Gretzky. Fox takes home another Norris. The Conn Smythe would go to Mark Messier. Vasi with another Vezina 3 in 4 years. And Lindholm with another Selke. Is he that good of a defensive player? That is going to do it for this video, boys. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. Turn notifications on so you don't miss a single upload. And remember, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.
The Wayne train is coming through, baby.